Okay?
It's not okay, dude.
Why would you do that, though? What the was that for?
You okay?
Yeah, why would you do that, though?
Do you need an ambulance started?
No, why would you do that, though?
Rookie Trooper Winthet was being trained by Trooper Nick for the Minnesota State Police. While driving, they noticed a vehicle in the oncoming lanes of traffic, speeding, and pulled over to the right to make a U-turn. The troopers did not activate their emergency tones or lights, and attempted to make the U-turn from the right-hand emergency lane. The reckless maneuver caused the cruiser to collide with the vehicle that had been behind them for the past several miles. It should be noted that the dashcam footage has 13 audio redactions. The Minnesota State Patrol edited out the 30-second buffer period that is captured prior to activating their body cams. These edits were intentional.
Are you okay?
No, she's not okay, dude.
You need an ambulance started.
Yeah, she must be. Oh, myself.
Okay.
Guys.
What the was that for?
You okay?
Yeah, why would you do that, though?
Do you need an ambulance started?
No, why would you do that, though?
He was turning on a car and he didn't see you. Okay?
I was turning on the car.
Yeah, we saw a speeder went by.
I understand. I wasn't driving. SB-120, Marshal.
You're right, sweetheart. You're right.
What's that? Yeah. Just making sure you're all right.
Make sure she's all right, dude.
I don't understand. I'm working with a new officer. He didn't see you. Okay. Can you have a seat in the car to make sure you stay okay so no one else hits us out here?
I'm okay. Right,
Yes.
Jamie now moves his car further off the highway. The officers now have Jamie follow them to a dirt road, where traffic isn't as heavy. Neither officer turns off their body cam, but the department removed 8 minutes of footage from this video. Only the dash cam was provided in full, but even it had 13 redactions in the audio. But they did not redact the seatbelt chime as the officers continued to drive without due regard for the laws they were enforcing. The officers finally find a dirt road to turn onto.
We'll be sitting on 310th Street after 23. You have your driver's license? Yes, sir.
Both parties wait in their respective vehicles for a supervisor to arrive, during which the MSP mutes nearly 2 minutes of audio. In later emails with the agency, Jamie is told by a staff attorney that the redactions are due to radio traffic that doesn't involve his case. But considering the duration and time frame, as well as the other redacted body cam, it seems more likely that they have removed a conversation about the incident between the training officer and the rookie. The MSP attorney then tells Jamie that if he wants the rest of the records, he needs to obtain them through a court order. The rookie does not leave the passenger seat for the remainder of Jamie's time on scene.
Morning. So what happened?
Driving, Marshall.
Okay. So you're going.
We're going to Grand to Marshall.
Okay, southbound.
And I knew it was a cop in front of us. He went off to the right, like he was going to go off to the side. Okay. So I slowed down a little bit, and all of a sudden, bam! He went left. There's nothing I could do. He hit me, and
all right.
I mean, it was totally completely his fault. Right?
Okay. All right. Were you guys wearing your seatbelts?
Yes.
No injuries, nothing like that.
No.
So you're fine.
But I want my car fixed.
Yeah. Well, we'll get you the reports and everything, and but I'm gonna take pictures.
Yeah. You want my?
Can you?
Here's my insurance too.
If you got.
It's digital.
Okay.
While the supervisor collects Jamie's insurance, Trooper Nick makes a phone call.
Yeah, no one's hurt, but he pulled over and just went to turn before I could even say anything. No, he hit on the passenger side, but they were coming by and he was just barely starting to turn. So yeah. Well, I was definitely thinking probably not behind the wheel today. So okay, all right, thanks.
Okay, you gonna?
I don't know, dude. I'm not gonna.
No, I understand. I understand. Honestly, when I was more worried. I just didn't want another car to come by and get you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was worried about, honestly. I didn't want to get out and yell at you. And,
Yeah, I know. I feel bad for getting mad too.
He's getting me a card that has the insurance and the case number on it, and that the correct address for it.
So yeah, this is my card, my information, and this is a state of Minnesota self-insured. So that's the number that you give the insurance company, and this is the case number.
Okay. So call State Farm and give them this. Sounds good.
And I'll get you whatever else. I'm sure he's going to get you info sheets.
Here's your stuff. That's my card too. Case number on it too.
Okay. Thanks, troopers. I appreciate it.
So
The body cams were not turned off at this point, but the agency redacted the video and audio footage of the trainer explaining what happened. We know this to be true, as just 5 minutes later, as the troopers are leaving the scene, the trainer advises the rookie to turn off all cameras.
We can turn off the cameras though, because we're clear of everything.
The next day, Jamie and Genevieve sought medical care for their minor injuries and attempted to file an insurance claim. But he was told by his insurance company that they wouldn't even try to pursue a claim against the MSP because they would claim official immunity, meaning Jamie would now be on the hook for the cost of his deductible, an increase in his premium, and healthcare costs related to the collision. 3 days later, he received a call from Trooper Casey Meager.
Jamie, it's Casey calling back with the State Patrol.
I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but did you finish your emails?
So, Jamie, if I can for a second give you a little bit of perspective, okay? This incident and what we are dealing with and talking about has already taken place, right? So we can't change what happened. The normal process for any other incident, any other crash, the troopers have 10 days in order to complete those things, right? So I'm not...
Once you agree, Captain, this is not a normal situation.
Well, anytime we've got a squad car involved in a situation, it's not normal. You're correct. Absolutely.
At this point, Jamie realized he should seek legal counsel and hired an attorney.
Jamie, it's Casey with State Patrol, not a marshal.
Well, I've been advised by my counsel to any communication to me on goes to my lawyer. It's sad that me and my daughter have been treated this way. We weren't a priority, obviously.
Well, just so we're clear, Jamie, I'm not going to reach out to an attorney or a lawyer. So if that's the route you want to go with this, that's fine. That's your prerogative. I'm not going to sit and do that with the attorney. If we're going to deal with the attorney, they can deal with the things through the legal system like the attorneys do, right?
It has flipped our world upside down, and our insurance company is being tricked too now. And because it's $11,500 and the cars are $12,000, and the State Farm's fighting it.
The following month, Jamie had to pay for the accident report. What it shows is that the crash report Trooper Meager hadn't looked at because he wanted to give the investigators 10 days was created on the same day of the collision and signed off by a supervisor the very next day. The report also showed that the rookie had made an improper turn during an emergency operation, but without emergency warning equipment in use due to unspecified external distractions. It also states that the driver didn't see Jamie's vehicle, and that the State Patrol did not conduct any sobriety tests on their troopers, nor did the MSP cite the rookie, but he resigned from the agency 2 weeks after the collision. The case was eventually escalated to the Department of Administration, who took another few months to review it. And finally, on Valentine's Day in 2025, Leah Shedlock, the senior claims representative at the Minnesota Department of Administration, sent Jamie a letter that claims the accident was nearly identical to Van Schaik v. Letourneau, and that the Minnesota State Court of Appeals had granted the troopers and the state official immunity in that case. And based on that, Minnesota would not be paying Jamie for the damage their negligence caused. However, the very first thing written in the opinion of the case Leah cited is that the case is non-precedential. This means that the court's decision in this case is not meant to be used as binding authority in future cases, but Leah presented it as though she is the judge. The second point of contention is that Trooper Letourneau had activated his emergency lights and noticed the vehicle, while in Jamie's case, Trooper Winthet did not notice Jamie and did not activate his emergency lights, and instead, he disregarded all traffic law. Official immunity was created to protect the state and state employees, to prevent public officials from second-guessing themselves out of concern that their government employer could sustain liability from their actions. But isn't this obvious negligence for life and property something that we want agents of the government to second-guess themselves? Official immunity can only be applied and granted by the courts. It is up to a judge, and a judge only, to determine whether a state trooper or another public official is entitled to immunity. And personally, I don't understand how anyone with a healthy mind could make this determination and feel like a good person. This is flat out evil, especially when you consider what Jamie is asking for. You see, Jamie went through his own insurance because the state refused to accept responsibility. He paid for his own vehicle, his medical bills for himself and his daughter, and was only requesting that the state repay his $1,000 insurance deductible. But instead, Jamie is now being forced to pay for the damages caused by the government's negligence because you. Basically, they even made him pay for the records they created for the accident they created. On March 25th of 2025, a lower claims manager, Dave Larrabee, called Jamie and confirmed once again that they are standing on their decision for immunity, with